Hello, Soul Family. Welcome. It's great to see you all here again. If you are new to this channel, my name is Astuti Marto Sudirjo, and I am the founder of Uplift My Life Today. I am a conscious and subconscious mind reprogrammer, the holder of this healing space, and also your transformation facilitator for today to help you expand and deepen the embodiment of unconditional self-love. I hope you have enjoyed the previous session and seeing some wonderful shift in your day-to-day. I would like to commend you for your courage and commitment to your healing journey. As I mentioned in the previous sessions, your heart means a lot to everyone. When you heal your heart, you allow or help others directly and indirectly also to heal their hearts. I intend to create this program to raise the frequency of love here on earth. Therefore, all of you, regardless where you come from in this world, are welcome to be here. Throughout this session, you are home. You are home in a loving, healing space. So thank you for being here. Right. So I have a really nice topic to bring to you today and to facilitate for you today. But to start off with, let's just all come together and arrive in this healing space. So just sit comfortably, or if you want to lay down, that is also fine. If you just want to listen and not looking at the video, this is also fine. I just would like you to allow yourself to connect yourself into your body and to connect yourself with the space that you are in. So as you place yourself in a comfortable position, I invite you to close your eyes and slowly take a deep breath. Inhale. Bring the air down to the lower part of your belly and exhale slowly. Inhale. And with every breath that you take, just allow yourself to land deeper in the center of your heart, in your body, in the room you are in, and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. While continue to keep your eyes closed, I'd like you to sense, feel, and imagine the universal unconditional love is entering the center of your heart as you are breathing in. This love, unconditional love from the universe is coming into your heart. And just breathe in and out at the pace that you're comfortable with. And just sense, feel, and imagine this light, this love is forming a vortex in the center of your heart. You don't need to tell which direction it needs to spin. It will spin in the direction that is best for you. With every breath that you are taking, this vortex is growing bigger and bigger. And at some point it's forming a light that's shaped like a lotus. And with every breath that you take in and take out, this lotus is opening up and emanating light like a fountain. So just imagine the light comes up when the petals of the lotus opens, and this love opens and emanates 360 degrees down and going up. And just focus on your breathing and allow this light to grow. As it is growing, it is going to reach, fill out the different levels and layers of your physical and energetical body. It is growing bigger and bigger, and at some point it is bigger than your body. All you need to do is just to allow that and to breathe. This light will be the light that will transform all that needs to be cleared, canceled, deactivate today, and all that needs to be activated today. And this light works beyond the physical boundaries. And all you have to do now is just to be present in your body, to breathe, and to allow. Welcome home. Welcome home for the duration of the session today. Good. So you can slowly open your eyes, or if you want to listen with your eyes closed, that's also fine. So today's journey is to help you give yourself permission to break the glass ceilings that exist consciously and unconsciously within you. Why? So you can embody your authentic self and to become the most generous and powerful primary provider of unconditional self-love in your life. I would like to start today's session with a story that I experienced something personally, and I have not spoken of this often. So, but this story that I'm about to tell you is very relevant to what we are going to do today. So when I was 24 years old, I was in Indonesia at the time, and I was asked to accompany a friend of mine who knows of or has been working with an energy healer in Jakarta. She's a Dutch woman, and unfortunately, I cannot remember her name. I've been trying to research her because she's back in the Netherlands, I think that year. But she did something that literally changed my life. And this is also what inspires me to offer this free program to all of you. So I was in her house, basically, together with a friend of mine who wanted to have a session with her. So I didn't know anything about energy healing. I went there because I cared about my friend and she needed help. So from her, not from me, just my company. So we went into her living room, we sat down. I was very fascinated and curious about what was going to happen. And so my friend started to speak to this lady. And suddenly, this lady stopped and she said to my friend, "Today, I don't want to work with you." So my friend was like, and I was like, "Oh, shoot." Okay. So, and then this lady turned her head and she looked directly at my eyes and she said, "But I want to work with you." And I was, what? I was so shocked. And my immediate reaction at the time was, I said to her, "But I don't have any money." And that was very interesting. And this lady said, "I don't want your money. I just want to help you." So I was stressed out, of course, because wow, if she's she wants to work with me, that means I have a problem. And so she approached me. She walked towards my way. She approached me. She stand next to my body, and she had a pendulum, crystal pendulum around her. And then as she put the pendulum next to my body, it started to move. And she said to me, look at this pendulum. Look how fast this is moving in one direction. And healthy energy body would have the pendulum rotating in the opposite direction. And she looked at me. You are losing life force every single minute. And if I take your photo, your aura photo, it will be all black. And I was like, okay, I didn't understand what happened, right? So I said, okay, I'm open. So she sat down, she looked at me, and she said, I remember this so clearly. She said, your mother is not going to die when you follow your dreams. I just bawling. I started to cry like a baby. I was like, wow. I'm still emotional thinking about it. She was right. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what was happening behind the scene quietly. So I was that year, a few months prior, I was elected to move to the Netherlands to join the headquarters of an international student organization called ISEC. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it was a very important personal wish of mine to do it. And but just a few weeks before I met her, my mother, who had a chronic illness, had to be hospitalized with a really, really bad condition. And I've seen her going in and out of the hospital before, but at the time, it was really, really heavy. So quietly, I was keeping everything in, and I wasn't sure if I should go to the Netherlands because precisely what she said, I was so scared that if I'm not there, she may die. Okay. So, but I was quiet about it. And I remember only speaking about it to one friend. He was in Australia at the time, but it wasn't even revealing everything, but I had kept everything in myself, not even my friend who knew me very well. I was trying to figure out what to do, but the fear ate me every day. There was a battle between following my heart calling and the door is open because the universe opens it, and the fear that if I left, my mom would have died. So I carried this for some time, and consequently, I was dying. So this lady was saying, like, if you don't do anything about this, you're going to be ill, really, really ill, because you are going against what your soul wants you to do. And I was like, so what do I do? So she said, I'm going to help you. So she worked with me, and I never had any healing session. She did a number of things. She introduced me to crystal healings to balances the energy and everything. That was the age of 24 that I started to know about these things. I was feeling so much better. She asked me to come one more time before I left. And finally, I decided, because we had a lot of talks, about this and the fear and all these things and processing these things. And so I finally left for the Netherlands. Not only did I leave for 1 year, I actually get reelected for the second year to work in that headquarters. And the door to the world and spirituality opened when I went to the Netherlands. You and I are here interacting because I went to the Netherlands. Because for some reason, the universe was emphasizing the importance of this step at the cost of my fear. So I had a fear of losing my mother, right? So I hope you can see what we talked about in the previous session about responsibilities, right? I, as my younger self, had carried this responsibility to keep my mother alive for, by then, 16 years. I didn't even think about it. It was just a thing to do. It was not normal for a lot of people, but for me, this was just who I was. That's what I thought. It was who I was. I'm my mother's keeper. I'm keeping the safety of my mother. And I was so much younger than her. I'm energetically way smaller than her. So this is where I wanted you to connect the story. Last week we talked about responsibilities, and when we are, why is it difficult? Why it is very difficult for us to let go something that is not ours to begin with, and the cost that it may give us. In my case, I may get ill and I may never unleash my own potential. And being in front of you now to share what I learned about being my authentic self. You see? So today, I would like to speak to you about expectations. Expectation comes with responsibility. I hope you can see how my story unconsciously, how unconsciously carrying a responsibility that was not mine to begin with caused me unmet expectations that actually block me from moving through an opportunity that is meant for me because the universe has opened it up. Okay? And we walk through life without realizing this. This is why it was important for you to go through the session, the last session. And today we are going to talk about expectations and how to free ourselves from these expectations without necessarily believing or living our life without a goal. Okay? But how can we, while having a goal, can still flow with life so that it's not a struggle, but it is an active movement, a conscious movement, a purposeful movement. Okay? Good. So I hope you can see how that story ties this session and the previous session. I think it was, I wish I knew the name of this lady, and I would like to ask you to think of this lady, the one that helped me, this Dutch lady. I'm sending her a lot of love every day because she had helped me to liberate myself from my own fear and carrying a burden that was not mine to begin with. Okay? Good. So, what is expectations? We live with expectations all the time. Trends are the expectation. Everybody should wear a lot of red one year, a lot of black one year, and then expectations at school. You are worthy or you're a good student if you meet this certain expectation. You earn your money if you meet a certain expectation. So expectation is such a pervasive part of our lives. And there are ways to deal with that in a healthy way. Okay. So what is expectation? Expectation is or are all those things that you hope to obtain or to be. Yet, oftentimes, expectations are the principal cause, of your fears. Many people decided not to do something, including me in my story, because of fear. Okay? The fear of not getting what you want, the fear of getting hurt, the fear of getting rejected, abandoned, disillusioned, whatever it is, the fear of something. These controls relationships, your relationship with you or your relationships with other people. Expectations are the elusive glass ceilings for the expansiveness of your potential and your relationship potential. You don't know it's there, but it is. Okay? And when you allow fear to dictate your actions, you refrain from taking risks, and you cling to the comfort zone. In my story, I'm so familiar with putting my mothers first. That's my familiar zone. But it almost costed me so much if this lady did not intervene. So when you allow expectation or fear to dictate your actions, you refrain from taking risks, you cling to your comfort zone and the path that feels familiar, even when it means not unleashing your potential further, or even when it means the path that you are in is actually costing you energy. Just look at my story as an example. When you are in that zone, you may resist what is actually happening to you. If it's not what you are hoping for, and you hold out for a specific results or outcome, and this what causes suffering. Okay, this is what suffering is about. When you are clinging to something very specific and for it to happen in a very specific way at the specific time, at the specific place, Okay, so this is what causes suffering. And this is what makes you the embodiment of your authentic self, that in turns can be is the most powerful provider of unconditional self-love, is challenging, difficult, fearful, complicated, etc. Now, when I mentioned the word to flow or to surrender, everybody goes like, oh God, okay. Yes, there's a lot of talks about this because it's not the most natural for us to do because we live with expectations. But that depends on what the expectation is, right? Nature has also expectations. When the season changes, they change. They have their own rhythm. They have their own timeline. They follow the nature. There's an expectation to follow nature, to follow nature. But human complicate things. We just put our own additional parameters that makes us a bit more stressful because it's not always possible or natural with the movement of the bigger world around us. Okay, so for example, for those of you who live in 4 seasons countries, you know how difficult it is to be excited about doing anything during winter when it's cold and gray, unless you are up in the mountain, because that's the natural place to be, up in the mountain to snow. Then you're fine. But if you're down in the office when everything is dark, you leave the house dark. When you go to the office and you come back, it's kind of dark already. This is not the most natural to create a lot of new things. But because we have human deadlines, targets, etc., expectations, we have to deal with that. And this takes a lot more energy that is not necessarily natural to us. Okay? So what I would like to introduce in this session is for you to understand how is best, or what is the healthiest way to hold expectations, because we cannot not have it, right? And also what we can change within our subconscious mind to allow us to flow more with life, which means that we are not resisting or fighting against what comes into our lives, but we work with it and we take advantage of it. Okay, so let's start with what flowing is, or what to flow means first. To flow is to follow your authentic goals and expectations, so that you need to have a goal. And connected to the goal, there is some parameters of what that would look like. That's the expectations, right? So you need to have that. The more authentic it is for you, because this is connected to who you are, the better. And then the second is making a commitment to take the necessary action, including one that involves stillness sometimes, right? And third, this is the most important, is while staying unattached to the outcome, the process, and the timing. So me, in my case, I am responsible to make a decision. How would I like to live my life? That's my right. My free will is to decide that, right? And then I clarify that in my head. Okay, what does that mean? That means, for example, more balanced life. That means I work 5 days a week, and or 4 days a week and 3 days. That's not the case. That's not my reality, but I can have that if I want to, right? So you can do the same. So you decide, okay, this is what I want. That's how it's going to look like. So I know that so I have something tangible that to aim for, right? Then to make a commitment to do what is necessary to achieve this. And that necessary action could involve active action or stillness. Stillness, yes. And the third thing is, while I give my best in the way that I can, on consistent basis, in a very committed way, in a very persevering way, I allow the bigger world, the universe, to help by, number one, saying that, yes, these are my goals. This is what I want, but I'm open for things that are better than this, that is best for my highest truth and good to happen at the time that is meant and in the way that is meant to happen. This is so important because when we are connecting to the outer world, and this is the other thing, right? In order for us to be very centered, grounded, and empowered, we need to walk life in connections with others as well, including the universe. So as we know that our conscious mind has limitation in terms of what it knows, right? But our higher self, which is the wiser part of ourself, which is bigger than our conscious mind, knows what is better or best for us at that particular time. So to flow is basically taking a decision. You make a decision, you make a commitment to do what you can, but you also let go. You let go. You let go the specificity of the outcome by saying, and I'm open to allow what is better than what I'm asking for, that is best for my highest truth and good to happen. Okay. And the beauty about this is that when you uncover or decide on your expectations and let them go, you can be so unattached to the outcome because you know, or you make an assumption, and this is also to integrate the trust that when you do that, better things will happen. And what usually happens, the fear diminishes. Okay. The other thing is, when you are connected to a certain goal, and in this case, you want to be the main provider of unconditional self-love for you, and you feel some kind of fear to do that because perhaps by this time in your life, you have not done that yet, or you had been dependent on love from other things or other people, you may feel fear and anxieties. You need to call them out. The real name of the fears and these anxieties. Because when you are calling them out, their power, their grip over you is going to be so much weaker, okay? And the other thing that is super important is that you make yourself unhappy, unfulfilled, and restless when you resist and reject what is currently going on in your life and try to change or fix it. And this is something very, very normal. I did that a lot. I did that a lot. I wanted to assert control of situation when sometimes it was just illusionary that I could do that. I could control up to some degree, but not to the extent that I can, right? So when you are relaxed about it, because, look, I know to which extent that it is within my control and my power, and the rest, I'm going to let it play out, because even when I'm worried about it, nothing is going to change, because these are not in the hands of myself. So my teacher, Maggie Block, has a very, very wise tips, which I really love and I would like to share here. And this is something that you can do when you, for example, have something very specific in mind. Let's give it an example. So if you are going through a job interview and you had expected yourself to talk in a certain way, to introduce yourself in a certain way, to bring us an image into the conversation, and then what ended up happening in the meeting is something completely different, right? So you come back, you came out from the meeting and you're like, I don't know what just happened, right? So this isn't something what you expected. A lot of us start to get scared because we had an idea as to this should have gone in one way or another. So when you are in that kind of situation where there is a discrepancy between what you think should happen and what actually happens, be it interview or something else, instead of asking the question of how is this unexpected situation blocking me and my goal, you should instead, or I invite you instead to ask, what do I need to see in this situation that is actually good for my highest truth and good? Remember, in this example of an interview, if there are two people in the interview, you can only control a portion of what happens in that meeting. You cannot anticipate, you cannot control the person. I certainly hope you don't manipulate the conversation, right? But you cannot completely influence 100% the other person. So it is quite often happen that we come in with certain something in our mind, and then we came out with experience something else. So the question that is best to ask yourself at that when you are facing this situation is, what do I need to see in this situation that is actually good for my highest truth and good? What do I need to see in this situation that is actually good for my highest truth and good? This is one of many ways to discover the blessings in disguise. And this is one of the many ways to allow you to continue to flow with life. Okay? Expectations, specific expectations, and complete attachment to these expectations are like glass ceilings. So to unleash your potential, to unleash our potential, we need to break this glass ceiling regularly. It does not mean that you cannot have goals. You need goals. But what it means is that after you set the goals, you free yourself from the attachment of the specific outcome that you want and identified. And interestingly enough, this can bring about a change in your circumstances because you start to appreciate what is there. It's like there's more opening of doors of consciousness and realizations when you keep on looking, what is the blessing in disguise in these situations? Okay? You bring out your own unhappiness when you refuse, resist, reject life as it shows up. If there is anything, or there's one thing that you can take from today's session, is apply this consciously in your life now. Embodiment of unconditional love, unconditional self-love helps you flow with life and live it with much more ease. And to flow with life means that you set the goals that are authentic to you, you commit to the necessary action or inactions for the goal, and you let go the clinginess or the attachment to the results that you wish, and instead open yourself for something that potentially is better that you may not even think about or thought about or could even imagine. And this is what it means by allowing what is good for your highest truth and good to happen. You work with the universal energy, which is the potential. To flow means you are loosening up, allowing with ease. Okay? I would like to give you an example, right? Like to do and offer you this program is my active wish to take an active role in bringing more peace into the world. Okay. I lean into my natural talents and I set the intention. I set the intention that I would like to offer this. I show up in every episode in the best way that I can to speak about something that I believe is helpful. I created the channel in YouTube and I contacted as many people as I know in my network to let them know this is here. But the rest is out of my hands. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. And we may not even meet in person physically, you know? But this is when I'm asking the universe, then this is the extent that I can produce. Please take it out. Take it out and help this to spread to the people that needed it. And I believe there are many people from all corners of the world now are being and doing the sessions here. That's just an example. I cannot, it's beyond my comprehension. Also, how this is going to offer or to help you embedding the unconditional self-love. But I trust that with my intention and my conscious choice to show up and to deliver my intention, this will do it for you in your own unique way. You see? This is the same for everything. We are never alone in existing. We are always in relations to something else, and that something else may be the people we know or don't know, right? So just open this up, loosening up the grip so you can actually flow with life. Flowing is like being in a river, you know, letting the current takes you. Life is like a river. And knowing that when you are relaxed, lay back and breathe, you will float. You will float. That you can do. You can breathe and you can be relaxed, right? So just imagine you're floating down the river of life. Sometimes the current is slow. Sometimes it's very rocky. There is no straight line river that is natural, okay? There's no real straight line on this earth. So when the current is slow, sometimes we think there's no movement at all, and some of us reacting in the way that, okay, let's just swim then, or some of us actually left the river, right? When they get frustrated. And others may want to do something else and they started going against the flow of the river. And all these tire them down. Because sometimes in life, and this is also something that I struggled many, many years ago, as if there's no movement. There's a lot of movement. You just don't realize it. The movement is not something that you do. The movement is within your energetic field, right? So you feel like I'm not going nowhere. Actually, when you flow with life, you're always going somewhere. You just may not realize it, right? So there are the parts in the river of life where the river is moving very quickly, right? And this can be frightening. Things may feel like they're getting out of hands and things are moving so quickly. I didn't ask for this. When you did ask for something, but it's just that, and that in that phase of the river, things are just like much more eventful, let's say. And then you started to like hanging on to the edge of the river or trying to grab something or find some log or something. And the risk of being hurt or having a harder time is higher in that, right? So in a matter of fact, when you go through this kind of river, the best thing to do at times is just to place your feet forward and just follow the current. Okay, so here's the second most important thing to remember from these sessions. You need to develop the skills. You need to develop the skills in facing every situation you encounter and accept the speed of your life in each moment. Okay? It's a skill. And there's sometimes belief that doesn't allow you to stay calm in a quiet place. There are also beliefs or programs in your subconscious mind that doesn't allow you to stay calm in a rocky situations. So this is a skill. You need to learn observational skills and work through that things that doesn't allow you to apply the most appropriate strategy. When you flow with life, you're always in motion. You may not realize it, but you're always in motion. When you flow with life, you have to let go the needs to control everything. You need to let go the need to know everything in advance. You need to let go the need to get all the information upfront. That's not flowing with life. Okay. However, flowing with life in relations to the goal that you want, plus being open to something better than what you ask for, is very fulfilling if you are able to remain calm in the process. To flow with life, you need to stay loose and ease. Okay? Once you are immersed in unconditional self-love and have taken action to achieve your goals, your life flows and you allow the results to come flooding in and be grateful, knowing that what comes is what is best for you according to your highest truth and good. This is a big concept. You may want to listen to this video a number of times, but let's just allow this idea to come into your body, right? To have it grow and communicate with you. What does that mean in your life practically? Okay. So right now, I'm going to put up a slide for this. I'm going to invite you to do a reflection on both your expectations and fear that you may have connected to it. Okay. You are all here because you have chosen, this is the goal, you have chosen to deepen the embodiment of your unconditional self-love, and that you have chosen also to be the primary provider for that. So after I put up the slide, I'd like you to think of and write down in your journal 3 things that you expect from yourself to be able to do and to have to be the main provider of unconditional love for you. Okay, I'll give you an example. Some people may say, ooh, I need to be able to forgive myself. I heard this so many so many times in my client sessions. Some others say, oh, to be able to do that, I believe I need to earn more money. Okay. Some other people say, oh, I need to break up with my partner because our relationship is toxic and it's been toxic for years. Okay. Whatever it is, you know what is best for you. Just list just 3 things. Okay. So the second step, once you have the 3 things, you take one and then you ask the following questions. What fear do I have that block me from doing this or having this? So, for example, for the person that says, I need to learn to, I need to leave the toxic relationship that I have. Yeah. So the first thing is like, what is the fear? The person you may say, okay, the fear is that I may not know how to take care of myself when I leave. Okay. So you write that down and then you ask the same questions to this answer. What is the fear that blocked me from taking care of myself when I leave the relationship? Oh, the fear would be that maybe I will discover what I have learned so far in my life is not relevant for the workplace. Okay. So you keep on going and then another one. So try to go down for a few times until you feel like there's no more answer underneath that. Why is it important? Because we want to call out your fear. When there is an expectations, there usually is fear. What we want is for you to be able to say to yourself, I have this fear, and you say it and you mean it. Because when you're really allowing the fear and to feel the fear and you breathe and say it again and again and again, it will allow the movement of the fear to rise up from somewhere suppressed because you didn't want to admit that, right? And you go up and you breathe and you breathe and you tap and you tap, and then it will eventually dissipate. This has happened to me a couple of days ago. Suddenly I had this anxiety attack about something that I didn't know where it came from. And I had to sit and I had to breathe the first few minutes because I was like, whoa, where is this coming from? I didn't suppress it. I said, okay, let's just have the anxiety coming up. And then I said, okay, what is this fear about? And I did exactly this a number of times. And then I started to call it out, right? So in this reflection, you will get a list of fear. So for example, let me just give another example. So for example, if you feel like you have to, one of the fear to be the primary provider of unconditional for you is that because you're scared to leave a toxic relationship that you're in, then you ask another question and then you answer that, oh, I am scared to leave the toxic relationship actually because if I do that, then I may have to admit to myself that I have contributed to this toxic relationship, which means I'm also doing toxic stuff there. So then you go, what is so scary about that? And you're like, yeah, but I'm too scared to find out that actually not as responsible as I thought I was. And then you go, what is so scary about that? I'm scared with the possibility of feeling and discovering that I'm probably not enough for relationship or not good enough. That fear at the bottom is the core fear that you want to get into. As you have this list, then you will call it out loud. You speak it out loud, and then you tap, you breathe. You will experience emotions. Okay. Don't get scared. Okay. Don't get scared. Just sit with it. There will be times maybe you will even like, then you stop repeating the sentence. You just breathe and tap. You tap in different parts of your body. Could be here, here, or here even, or here, wherever you feel called to. And just breathe. And then when you feel better, then you start doing it again. When we call out something that is gripping for us, it's almost like you shine a torch into the thing that was kind of invisible but is there holding you back, you face it, you breathe, you acknowledge it, and you let it go. Okay? So this is a very, very important thing that you can do, not only in this program, but in your life. When you face an expectation and there's fear coming up with this, call it out. Call it out. Call it out with grace, call it loud, call it out with the intention to acknowledge it, to apply compassion to yourself, and to breathe the emotions attached to this story, sentences, whatever it is, and to allow it to go from your body. Okay? So now I am going to put up the slide. I would like to invite you to go slow with this. Okay? There are layers and layers and layers of fear. We would like to get to the deepest part possible. Okay? So I'm going to put up the slide now and enjoy your reflection and calling out the fears. I will inform you when I am going to take the slide down so you can pause it. of the video, feel free to pause right now. Good. Welcome back. I hope you are able to dig out some fears, and if you would need a few sit downs with these questions, I would recommend you to do it, but please try not to answer the questions from the head or from the mental perspective, but from the heart, because the fear is here, is in the heart and in the body. And with fears, a lot of the times, fears don't make sense either. They don't. And you're like, why do I have this fear? It doesn't make sense. Correct. But it's there. Okay? Your body will react and respond when you are acknowledging it and you are tapping. Okay? Good. So please remember, this exercise can be used for many different situations, not just only in this program. Just come back to it when you need to remember the process. But this is something that I certainly feel very useful to have in my life. And I would suggest or recommend you to keep it as one of the way for you in taking care of your emotional hygiene and also belief reprogramming. Okay, good. So just take a short break for the moment, stretch your body before we move into the next section, where I am going to get you through a conscious mind reprogramming to allow you to flow more with life. I'm just going to take a sip of water and I'll be back with you. Good. I hope you have had the time to go to the loo or to take some water, stretch your body, move a little bit in your room, or stretch if you're lying down. So the next part of our session today is the subconscious mind reprogramming. So what will I do today for you and with you? I will now guide you through the subconscious mind reprogramming journey to ease and empower you to flow with life. To flow, I remind you again, means you exercise your free will to have a goal that is authentic or feels true to you, and to commit to take the necessary action for it, and to feel unattached or let go the attachment to the outcome and the timing, the specific outcome and timing of your goals and expectations, and instead to be open to something that is better than what you have asked for. Per usual, the process has three parts. The first part is to acknowledge and let go some of the unconscious and conscious limiting patterns, belief, emotions, and program that distort, disturb, or block you from the goal, from flowing with life. Per usual, I am tuning into the common patterns for all of you here, ahead of you listening to this recording, and bring them up all for you to acknowledge and to choose to let them go. This is an important part because this is where you exercise your free will. The second part, I will then tune into what is needed for our collective subconscious mind here to integrate and to learn and to embody in terms of uplifting programs, beliefs, emotions to help you to flow with ease in life. And the third part is then we will do a concrete action to hone in or ground even more the transformation on the subconscious mind level. And just like the last time, you only need to follow my lead and to repeat, when I ask you to repeat what I say out loud, and just not only focusing on the sentence that you'll be saying out loud, but also to focus on your body and how your body connect to this or react or respond to the sentence. The sentences, there are many sentences. Okay, good. So lean back or lay down if you want to. Take a deep breath and center yourself. You are in a healing space. The unconditional love is still with you, in you, active, holding you and healing or helping you heal. Just close your eyes, lean back, breathe. And start with tapping on the karate chop point and repeat after me. We start with the intention. Even though it does not feel all natural and easy yet, to fully love myself unconditionally, I choose to give myself the permission to be my authentic self and to move through life in a flow state with ease and joy. And just take a deep breath. Now we're going to start the first part, which is to acknowledge the unconscious and conscious limiting patterns with the intention to clear out, cancel, and delete them completely and thoroughly as you go through it. Okay, so top of the head, these are some unconscious or conscious expectations that are harmful for you, or how your expectation may hurt you. Take a deep breath. I suffer when I don't get what I want. I suffer when I don't get what I want. Beginning of the eyebrow. I feel bitter and sad because things do not happen as I expect them to. At the end of your eyebrow, I expect too much from others. Under the eyes, I am unhappy because my life is not what I want. Under the nose, my life is worthless because I'm different than other people around me. Under the lips, I reject myself for not meeting my expectations or other people's expectations of me. On the collarbone, I feel violated by expectations. I have secrets I cannot share with anyone. I shut down to new ideas. Good. We're going to go to the karate chop point again. The next few sentences is about your fear, the fear that prevents you from creating a loving relationship in general. Okay. Karate chop point. I am afraid I won't get what I want. Top of the head. I am scared of things getting out of control. My control. I am scared of things getting out of my control. I am scared of losing control. I am scared of being hurt. Beginning of the eyebrow. I am scared of being taken advantage of. I am scared of being used. And now, at the end of the eyebrow, these sentences are how your attachment blocks you from flowing. Okay, take a deep breath. I am attached to my plan. Under the eyes, I cling to what I know. Under the nose, my routines are essential to me. Under the lip, on your chin, I'm attached to my life as I know it. I'm attached to my life as I know it. Next one. I'm attached to my life. Sorry, I'm attached to the life I should be living, whatever that is. I'm attached to the life I should be living. Under your collarbone. I'm attached to the time frame I set for attaining what I want. Take a deep breath. There's a lot of us like this. I'm attached to the time frame I set for attaining what I want. Take a deep breath. Top of the head, I'm obsessed with having a life partner or a husband or a wife, whichever is suitable for you. Next one, and at the beginning of the eyebrow, I'm obsessed with having children. Under the at the end of the eyebrow, I'm obsessed with making a lot of money. Under the eyes, I'm obsessed with living a big life. So while you're tapping here, I'd like you to understand that it's not so much about the what, but it's the obsession that we are letting go, okay? Obsession is really gripping and it creates a lot of suffering, okay? So it's about being obsessed that we are releasing. This is the grip of the obsession. Take a deep breath. Under the nose, I'm obsessed with being successful. Under the lips, I'm obsessed with being famous. On the collarbone or under the collarbone, I'm obsessed with being a businesswoman or man or person. Top of the head, I'm attached to my beauty. Again, just like obsession, the word that we are trying to ease out is attach. Okay, take a deep breath. I'm attached to my slenderness. Beginning of the eyebrow. I am attached to a perfect body. So at the end of the eyebrow, I am obsessed with winning. If you have any other obsession that I didn't mention here that is peculiar to you, this is the time to acknowledge that. Just take your time. Either attached or obsessed. Okay. Good. So now we're moving on to the next one. This is what prevents you consciously or unconsciously from flowing. Repeat after me. I keep hoping for what I had planned, and I cannot seem to adapt to what is actually happening. On your chin, I get frustrated, desperate, and distressed. When my life does not move at the speed and in the direction of my choosing. Take a deep breath. There's a lot of us having this one. Makes life much heavier than it needs to be. Okay, on the collarbone or below the collarbone, my life moves too quickly, and then I panic. Next one, my life moves too slowly, and I get anxious. I cannot adapt to changes. I believe my plan is better than what God or life or universe has planned for me. I forgive myself for resisting and attempting to redirect my life's natural unfolding. I forgive myself for allowing other people's beliefs, influence, and determine my own. Take a deep breath. I forgive myself for taking myself more seriously than is helpful to me. You can stop tapping. Now put your left hand above your heart and your right hand above your belly button. Just close your eyes. Take a long, deep breath. And repeat after me. I recognize all these limiting patterns, beliefs, programs, and emotions. And now I cancel, clear, and delete them all completely and thoroughly. Take a long, deep breath. Take a sip of water. We are going to continue with the second part, which is to integrate the uplifting programs to help us. Good. Now, when you are ready, we start with the karate chop point. These are the uplifting programs to help us to flow better with life. Okay? Take a deep breath and repeat after me. The most important thing is the path, not the end goal. Top of the head. I yearn to be the primary source of unconditional love for myself and focus on being the most authentic person that I am. Beginning of the eyebrow, I let go of my expectations. I let go of the attachment of my expectations. At the end of the eyebrow, and I'm ready for whatever comes. Under the nose, I'm satisfied with my life. Sorry, not under the nose, under the eye. What I commit is to respect myself and to have healthy relationships with others. Under the nose, my expectations are realistic and adequate. On your chin, I am happy as I am, being uniquely me. Go back to the karate chop point. Now, these are the upcoming patterns that we are going to activate. These are to liberate yourself from the fear that prevents you from creating healthy relationship. Okay. Repeat after me. I am aware that to a large extent, suffering is the result of having expectations. And I put a stop to my suffering by letting them go. Top of the head. I realize things are not under my control fully. So I stop fighting them. Ooh. Such a relief. Beginning of the eyebrow. I work on myself to deal with my life in the best way that I can. At the end of the eyebrow, I have a lot of love around and in me. Under the eye, I sniff out the people who are potentially takers and abusive. And I stay away from them. Going to under the nose. This is what is helpful to liberate you from your attachments towards your expectations and goals. Take a deep breath. I make my plans and I tweak them as things change. On your chin, I make conscious of the picture I have in my mind of what it is that I want to experience and what it is that I want to have, and let them go. Next one. I realize I have no idea how I should be living. And instead, I appreciate what I have created so far. Take a deep breath. On the collarbone. I move towards the goals that I have set for myself. And that is good for me without clinging to the outcome. Even though I want to be in a relationship and have a life partner or spouse, the most important thing is to be the most authentic person I can be. Take a deep breath. I want to have children. And I live a happy life, even if this never comes about. I want to make a lot of money. And to live a big life. And I enjoy the challenge involved without obsessing about the goals. I can be successful or famous or a businessman, woman, person, and yet my happiness no longer depends on it. Take a deep breath. I accept that beauty, slenderness, and the perfect body is seasonal. They come and go. I enjoy the challenge of doing better and better. And taking graceful losses. Take a deep breath. So we start with the karate chop point. These are the things that you need to flow. I accept what is, even though that may not be what I'm hoping for. Top of the head. When things are not as I am hoping for, I surrender on and focus on getting the most out of the moment. Beginning of the eyebrow, I am trusting when my life does not go at the speed and in the direction of my choosing. That allows you to be more relaxed, right? At the end of the eyebrow, I line up with the current of life and I flow. Under the eyes, I acknowledge the circumstances as they are. And stop fighting against them. Under the nose, life is in my favor. Or you can say God is in your favor, in my favor, or universe is in my favor. And it has the best plan for my highest truth and good. On your chin, I go with the current of life with ease. On your collarbone, I get in touch with my soul. When things are different from what I'm hoping for. I get centered and grounded when things get out of my control. I accept the possibility of something being different from what I was expecting. I can easily adapt to changes. I liberate myself from the plans I make as soon as they stop working. When I allow myself to lighten up, my entire being becomes illuminated with the intuitive wisdom that aligns me with my highest potential. What I feel in my heart is true and possible when I allow myself to believe it. Good. Take a deep breath. You can stop tapping. You can put your left hand above your heart and your right hand above your belly button. Take a deep breath. And repeat after me. I choose to integrate, activate, and implement completely and thoroughly all these positive patterns, beliefs, emotions, and programs right now. And just bring your attention back to the body. You can open your eyes and just move a little bit. Take a sip of water. We are going to do another thing to help you to bring it down. But this is something that I'd like you to also use whenever you face fear, in the first part of this video, I invite you to call the fear out, right? That's one way. Another way is this meditation that I'm going to help you to do. And when there is an overwhelming fear, or just fear, it doesn't need to be overwhelming, you can just take a moment every day to attend to this fear, and not to ignore, not to suppress, but to sit with it and breathe and listen to this meditation and just follow through what is being shared there. Okay. With subconscious mind reprogramming, it is still very important for you to actually do the emotional hygienic activities, just like toothbrushing, you do it every day. Emotion is the same. If you have fear or anger or any other emotions, this is one of the meditation that you can use. Okay? As you are sitting comfortably or lying down, wherever you are, I'd like you to close your eyes. And take a few deep breath, a few sets of deep breath now. With every breath, turn your attention inwards into your body. Imagine you are scanning your body now. Scanning from the top of your body towards the bottom part of your body. Just take your time. As you do that, feel your body on the inside. Feel how the current flows in your body from the bottom to the top and the down again. And now connect with your body and ask it to point out where the fear you have is located, along with anything else that might be blocking the flow of your energy within your body. Your body is now sending you a clear signal. You may be pulled to pay attention to a certain direction or multiple directions, so just take your time. It could be that something lights up if you're a visual person, and this could happen on the front or the back of your body. It may send you a color, a sensation, or something else. Just trust it and go ahead. Follow the information. Notice where that is blocking, what is blocking you is lodged in your body. Just notice where it is. And I'm going to stay silent for a few moments so you can take your time to find out. as you do that, you find it or them. Now it is time to let them go. They have served you for a long time because this was the way they knew to protect you. Fear's main purpose in our life is to protect us. But now you have other ways of doing that are more effective. So you can let these fears, one or many, go. So now just make a decision that you're going to let one or more fears go. Take a deep breath. And every time you exhale, release it one by one to Mother Earth. Just imagine it leaving your body through your feet, going down from the soles of your body, leaving the body, going into the floor that you're standing on or sitting on, going down further into Mother Earth. And just breathe. Mother Earth receives it with pleasure. It is pulling it down. It receives the fears and nurtured by what you are clearing and letting go now. What you feel, sense, or even see as dead weight, which means things that you don't need, nor want to keep in your body and your energetic field anymore, they are compost for Mother Earth, and they fill her with life. So just connect to Mother Earth as you are breathing. Hand them over. All of your fear, resistance, lack of self-acceptance, lack of love, whatever they are, with gratitude. Like a child to the Divine Mother. Hand them over permanently. Mother Earth helps you to release them. With every inhale and exhale, as you hand them over to Mother Earth, you feel freer and lighter. So just enjoy that moment. And as all these things that you don't want to keep in your body or energetic fields anymore, leaving towards Mother Earth, the light, the lotus-shaped light that was activated in the beginning of this session is expanding, filling up every levels and layers of your physical and energetical bodies, clearing what needs to be cleared, deactivate what needs to be deactivated, and activate what needs to be. And it will continue until it's complete in your system, even after this session completes. So just thank Mother Earth and bring your attention back into your body. Put your left hand above your heart and your right hand above your belly button. And just repeat after me. This session has ended, and I am enjoying the transformation of my consciousness. And to keep on breathing deeply as I close this healing space, and asking that Whatever needs to be further integrated in your body will continue to do so with the support of your higher self, Mother Earth, and the universal unconditional love. Very good. You may open your eyes. So, before I leave you, I'd like to say congratulations. The topic today is one of the most challenging topics for human because of our ego. So whatever you can integrate today, I congratulate you. And if you feel like you want to go back again to this session in the future, please do that. There's always different layers that you can tap into as you repeat the session. For now, and I will put up a slide at the end of this video, for self-care and integration action, I'd like you to process your emotion on a daily basis. You have two skills, two tools to use from today's session. Journal what comes up. That's the second thing. And the third thing that I would like to recommend you to do is to do physical stretching exercise, particularly the part around your spine and hips, the lower part of your body. So some exercise could be yoga, yin yoga, for example, Pilates, eccentrics. It's basically just to make more space through movement on the lower part of your body, your hips and the area. This will create more strength and more space for you to integrate new things, new programs with much more depth and ease. Very good. So before I leave you and let you be with the integration, I'd like just to mention, if you are going through a change in your life right now and you feel scared, overwhelmed, or feel defeated, sometimes even feeling less than empowered, I would recommend you to consider the Uplift online program. You will find the link in the description box here. It's a self-paced online transformation program. You can join a community where there are other people who are doing this right now. And this is helping you to reprogram anything, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, to allow you to stay centered. Change is inevitable, but this is something that humans generally do not enjoy. So there are 7 modules there, all touching fundamentals stuff, and very powerful transformation is on offer. Right, so before I end this video, do give this video a thumbs up if you find it useful. And if you have not done so and you resonate with my energy, so subscribe to this channel and help me to share this or the content of this channel to as many people as possible who would like to deepen their embodiment of unconditional self-love. For now, thank you again for being here. Thank you again for your trust. Take good care of your body. Enjoy your integration. And I'll see you in the next video on this Uplift My Life Today channel. Goodbye.